Hi everyone. I'd make this video today for you about how to stop worrying. And so I know some of you might be worriers, like I used to be. And so if you're somebody who feels like worry more than is necessary, as if worry is ever necessary, or you're just someone who, you seem to kind of get something stuck in your craw and you'll perseverate on it over and over again. If you can relate to this, like kind of chewing on your problem with like no real solution, you want to know, how do you get out of that? Then keep watching. This is for you. So I'm going to start with a poem by Donna Faulds, and I say this poem a lot in my meditation groups. She calls it Thanking a Monkey. Oh, I'm sorry, it's Kaveri Patel who wrote this poem. And she says, "There is a monkey in my mind, swinging from branch to branch and tree to tree, never standing still. Sometimes I want to kill that monkey, shoot it square between the eyes so I won't have to feel the pain of worry. But today I thanked her, and she jumped down straight into my lap, trapeze still swinging, as we sat still." So before we dive into the content here, let's settle in. You might just get yourself comfortable wherever you are. And take this time for you. Take 3 deep breaths in through our nose and out our mouth. So breathing in. And exhale, sighs it out. And again, deep breath in through your nose. Exhale, lets it go. Last time, breathing in. Exhale, sighs it out. Then on the end of your exhale, feel yourself arriving wherever you are, meaning come into your body and set your intention now to receive the most value possible from what it is you're about to receive. Worry. I used to worry a lot when I was a little kid. I had some challenges growing up, and it kind of fueled this strategy that many of us use that we call worry, to help me feel a little bit more in control of my life, which seemed really out of control. I grew up with, both my parents were in active drug and alcohol addiction, so there's a lot of inconsistencies in my growing up and yada, yada, yada. Long story short, I became a worry wart. So much so that when I was about 7 or 8, my grandma, my Nana Stratton, who's not around anymore, but I remember her telling me, you need to learn how to put your worries on a shelf. And I thought I would do that if I could, but I couldn't stop, because worry is like that. Worry, let's talk about the anatomy of it. It happens in the mind, in the thinking mind. And it's like I mentioned earlier, it's like this pebble in your sock, or like the princess and the pea. It's like this rub in the mind, this agitation. And a thought comes up, a worry thought. Something bad could happen, around this particular situation or scenario. Maybe there's a worry going on right now with your physical health. Maybe it's with your a relationship. Maybe it's something else. But at any rate, you have a thought, right? And that thought reminds you of your worry. And then there's this pull, like a magnet towards it, just drawing your attention in. And it'll loop you into this endless worry story. All these what ifs, all of these disasters, oftentimes accompany worry thoughts. And the hardest thing about worrying is we feel compelled to think those thoughts as if, now catch this, why do we worry in the first place? Because it does give us some sense of control, right? There's some sense that if I worry about this thing, then maybe what I'm worried about, the worst thing that could happen, maybe it won't happen. And so we can see right there that the fallacy in worrying, that actually thinking worry thoughts and kind of perseverating and chewing on it with really no solution present. It's just this kind of mulling over of something in the mind, that's distressing. So the feelings that come with it are like anxiety and maybe irritation or frustration. Maybe it's a lot of fear, usually. We can experience that in the belly or in the heart. It's just like, oh, we feel small, we feel tight, we feel closed off. We feel very disconnected from the present moment, because when we are worrying, we're lost in our disaster worry stories, and then we keep those troublesome emotions going. That anxiety, it keeps the anxiety in this like loop. And worry is this interesting thing where it's like, if you try not to worry, it just makes it worse, right? Have you ever tried not to worry? Have you ever had someone tell you, don't worry about it? So not worrying doesn't help either. So what is it that we should do, knowing that worry doesn't help? It causes suffering, and that trying to stop worrying doesn't work. What does work? And so here I'm about to get into the nitty-gritty practice of how do we stop worrying. So if you're watching this, which you are obviously, or of course you're watching this right now, you might just try this practice. So I gave you a little clue. Part of what we need to do to stop the activity of worrying is we need to begin to shift our attention away from the worry and put it into something that's more stable, more steady, more trustworthy. That would be this moment. Reconnecting to this moment is the antidote to worry. And how do we, because the awareness that it takes to keep the worry alive in order to be present must be directed elsewhere. And as we do that, now we're taking the power out of the worry, the energy out of the worry, and we're making more space for something else to happen, for something to shift. And so let's make this really practical. You might bring up something that you're worried about right now, as long as it's not too emotionally charged or troublesome. You want to keep it like a low-grade worry. And you might notice that this all arises in thoughts in the mind. So the first step is to take a deep breath and to begin to draw your awareness into your body, making it less localized up here and dropping it down into the stability of the belly. This is something my teacher emphasizes over and over again. Is dropping into the belly and beginning to tap in to the natural source of present moment connection that abides there. So right now you might let your awareness just fill the bowl of your pelvis. And as you inhale, you'll sense the belly begin to naturally expand. And as you exhale, the belly naturally comes back and in towards the spine, the navel, I should say. You can't stop worrying, but what you can do is sustain attention elsewhere. So really begin to trust this awareness building, kind of growing in the low belly. Now, trust is what allows the attention to stay, because as you begin to do this, the mind will come up with the worry again. And if you're a worrier, your habit is to feed that. And so it can feel a bit like holding back wild horses as you extricate yourself from that constellation of worry thoughts and feelings. The low belly, as you establish a connection here, as you're doing right now, just stay with it. Sense that you can even listen to my words as you stay connected to the belly center. And from this place, we have a little bit more sense of presence. And it can be useful at this point to go a little deeper and ask yourself, what is the feeling tone that I'm not wanting to feel behind this worry? What feeling am I avoiding? What is it under the worry? And as I ask that question, you might right now even just sense your heart, like something in the heart. Or some emotion becomes known to you. It might be the anxiety. It might be something else. But the feeling tone under the worry thoughts is actually the root. And so as you investigate the sensation or the feeling tone, you can put a hand on your heart. And then give this feeling, whatever it is, whether it's anxiety or restlessness or something else, give this feeling tone plenty of permission to be here, plenty of space. And let yourself abide with that feeling. Let the thoughts come and go as you tune in to what's really true underneath all of that drama. And likely it's a subtle sense of insecurity or uncertainty or fear. A sense that you can kindly and tenderly bring some affection through the open palm of your hand right into your heart. You might even say to yourself, I'm with you. And now the last piece of this process is to ask that feeling tone, that sensation, what is it that you're needing? It could be that this feeling is needing just permission to be here. It could be this feeling needs a voice. Maybe it'd be useful to journal about this feeling sense or talk about it to somebody. But right here and right now, maybe it just needs kindness. Maybe it needs to hear everything is going to be okay. This too is workable. So just playing in this way. When you notice that you've gotten lost in worry. Hi, Stacy. Welcome. When you've noticed you've gotten lost in worry, acknowledge that. And then when you can, taking a deep breath in, dropping into your body, beginning to pull your attention away from feeding the worry thoughts. Bring it into the body. Don't try to stop yourself from worrying. Don't do that. Just redirect awareness and attention. Feel into the belly. Spend some breaths abiding in the belly center, just stabilizing. And then asking that question, what's the feeling under this worry? And likely it's a feeling quality that you don't like, that's uncomfortable, like fear or insecurity or something else, self-doubt or doubt. And rather than trying to make that state go away, with your hand on your heart, bringing it kindness and care, allowing it to be, and maybe offering it some supportive words like, it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to be here, or it's okay for this feeling to be here. It's really tuning in and starting to listen to the root of the worry. And you'll be surprised, this might avail you to something that you're needing to know. likely it will turn you right back in and towards your own natural and inherent resourcefulness. And you might sense that you're not alone in this worry. You might even ask the beloved, however that form takes for you. You might call it God or Spirit or Source, to tenderly help you hold this challenging feeling. And then notice what happens. You might sense a loosening up of the worry thoughts as you're actually starting to attend to this worry in a way that actually soothes it. When thinking it through over and over again doesn't soothe, it just exacerbates it. And so I hope this was helpful. And I hope those 3 little shifts, or those 3 kind of tools of attention, were useful. And then you might use this in your everyday life. And so that's it for now. Please give it a thumbs up if that was helpful, or comment below. That encourages me just to keep giving messages to you, because sometimes I just drop these into space and I don't know if it was helpful or not, so that would be awesome. For now, I'm sending you so much love and many blessings. It was wonderful to be with you today. Namaste.